Hey guys, so I've been saying we were supposed to do this.
Hate wheelchairs.
Yeah, well,
Total wheelchair death.
Garbo has been arguing. What happened? You tell us the story then. How does that sound? You just tell us. You know what? I don't know why you have patience for these sort of arguments anymore. Like, you were like, oh, do you want to do wheelchairs today? It's like, Garbo, I would rather do anything other than wheelchairs, please. Please, I don't want to be reminded of
more
them.
or less, Drunkards and Dragons posted a picture of a wheelchair-bound knight being tortured by gnomes, I think is what it looks like. And I was like, this is why I cannot humor wheelchairs. This shit, like, yeah, so the goblins shove a spoke through both of your fucking tires and their friends studied it. Like, and so I was like, you know what? I was retweet it and make a post, and now it has like 180 fucking comments. I'm like, oh, great.
Nice.
So basically, it's either based boys going, this is stupid, or like fucking liberals going, you don't get it, man. You just hate disabled. I'm like, how did you know?
Oh, Garbo, what's going on? Like, you've been getting a lot of tweets that have been going really mad recently, I must say. You gotta give them that.
I just enjoy being a shithead online.
Yeah, you're suited to
like,
Twitter.
Because I hate fucking echo chambers. I'm like, I want to unecho this bitch. And I walk in and go, I'm so great. Like the fucking the Bart Simpson scene with like, I'm so great. I'm so good. Because I have the fucking pot and pan to spoon. Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing pretty much.
Well, at least you're happy.
And I know someone said, you're like those DMs from DM Reddit horror stories. Like, how dare you?
Well, you know what? Yes, I actually am. Maybe.
How did you know?
That is me. What are you talking about? Them guys are having fun. Anyway, yeah, so I don't want... Is there anything really we can say on wheelchairs bar laugh at them? Because, like, it's...
Well, one guy said, we have a wheelchair that's capable of going up a ladder. I'm like, you know how heavy those wheelchairs are? How stout is your ladder? It's going to carry around a 400-pound load-bearing ladder wherever you go.
I think
this is my mithril ladder I carry around for this fucking dumbass in a wheelchair.
I think this guy's got the only right answer. Give me like sweet ass spider legs or something. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like,
yeah. Like at least be cool with it. Like you're in a literal wheelchair. You're not in like a fucking pair of like strap. Like I like the ones where it shows like it's like a mechanical centaur body, but it's got a person like socketed into it.
Oh yeah. Like I
like that makes sense.
Can we just stop with the wheelchairs and make stuff cool? You know what I mean? Like that.
Just make shit cool again.
Yeah, like okay, that's my mantra now. Make shit cool again. That's what I feel like at this point because it's
make wheelchairs cool again.
Yeah, give me sweet ass spider legs. Give me some from a mechanical apparatus. Anything, and you can make it work. Look, I'm not going to talk about wheelchairs because today what I want to talk about is like I want to talk about *ᄃØЯΣ. I want to talk about stuff that I actually really enjoy, because I do. I want to talk about stuff that I like, stuff that's worth checking out. I'm sick of doing stuff that's depressing. That's why I don't like talking about like wizards.
I love being depressed.
No, I actually can't hack it anymore. It's killing me. It really is killing me inside, guys. I'm not,
fuels me.
I know it does for you, but it doesn't for me. It don't make me feel good. This doesn't make me feel happy inside. Whenever I have to talk
about, spark joy, Garbro.
No, it does not. It really doesn't. So look, Lamentations put out a load of new books there. I would say they're very much worth checking out. However, I haven't run them yet. I'm only going to be doing video. Well, we're going to be doing one thing that they've put out because Garbo was like, "What the fuck?" Even Garbo was like, "Wait, what?"
Cannibal orgy? What the fuck? Yeah, that definitely caught me off guard.
You guys will find out, okay? I think. Look, I don't want to talk about it. You guys are just going to have to wait to the end of the video because we're going to do that last. First of all, we're going to talk about *ᄃØЯΣ. Second of all, we're going to do Tales of the Scarecrow, and then we'll do what's it called again? This new one. It is called Black of Night. And to give you guys a basic primer of what it's about is think of 1630s Spanish not pirates per se, but whatever they are. Somehow you end up on totally not Sentinel Island, and the members of Sentinel Island, how do you word this, Garbo, at the start of the video?
Bro, don't even ask me. You pulled up the most out-of-pocket thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right, well, you know what, you say whatever you want, and I'll just blank it.
How the hell do I even...
It's about men with their thingies, their willies, and they also like to eat
Great
people.
start.
Yeah. So there you go. I can't say at the start of the video. You guys know how it is, all right? Anyway,
They
look,
consume people with their dangle-langles in the breeze.
yeah. I need to find you that picture. You know, the one of like the African tribesmen and the ones getting molested. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here.
Cool. Can't wait for that shit.
You're gonna love it. Okay, look, what is Deathfrost Doom? Deathfrost Doom is my personal go-to adventure if I don't have anything. If I want to play a game and I don't have anything like already put together, I just go on Deathfrost Doom. I first bought the adventure in, I think it was like September 2022. And I've ran it 4 times since then, and I think that's an awful lot for what, like 2 and a bit years. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot. You know what I mean, for me anyway. Because in most adventures, let's be serious, people buy them, they play them, and that's it. You know what I mean? Most people aren't going to leave on the same adventure. This one is good. This one's well worth it. Hold on, let me close this fucking door because they're banging downstairs. So, Garby, will we jump into this? Let's see what it's all about.
First of all, I would say that these names seem made up. Yannick Bouchard and fucking James Edward Raggy.
James Edward Raggy the Fourth, by the way. I've been talking.
Sorry, the fourth.
The
My
fourth.
apologies.
Yeah. So look, let's just keep going. I've got a very nice version of this. It's got like felt on it and stuff. It's actually really nice. So it is a very nice book. But yeah. So it comes with 2 maps. We've got the graveyard and we've got a cabin. The cabin's a lot of fun. The cabin reminds me an awful lot of, what do you call that movie? Evil Dead? Is it Evil Dead?
With the chainsaw hand thing?
Yeah. Pretty much. You know what it is? Actually, it pretty much is Evil Dead, not gonna lie, because like you guys will find out. A lot of people complain about this book because it's got issues, but you guys will find out.
So Evil Dead was based in like it all starts at this fucking cabin, and they find like the fucking Necronomicon.
Yes, which
right?
You guys will find out. So let's jump into this. So Deathfrost Doom, Lamentations, all that good stuff, content. So this is a reprint from the original. So it is. It was first published in 2014, but then I got the
ancient times.
yeah. Well, it is ancient in modern standards. What internet standards?
A decade ago, in the year of 2014.
Jeez, that was 10 years ago, guys. Please. Jesus Christ.
I know.
I was 20.
Oh God, are those liver spots? Oh no.
All right, go for it. Jump in.
In this 5 years since the adventure was first released, Lamentations of the Frost Princess had released box sets, hardcovers, and sold tens of thousands of books and PDFs. It's not too big a stretch to say it was all on the back of the reputation Deathfrost Doom gave to me and the LOTFP name. Listen here, phone. I'm put you on mute twice. You better chill the fuck out. All right. Silent mode. It was ridiculous to have one of the most popular titles in the catalog out of print for years, but as a music collector, the idea of an out-of-print album appealed to me. Deathfrost Doom was that cult rarity that you only physically had if you were there at the time, that out-of-print first album of a band that had gone on to greater success. But corporate greed often trumps idealism. Capitalism.
Well, you know what? This explains why James is so bad at business, not gonna lie. Yeah. I appreciate
I'm not a capitalist. I'm a visionary. Shut up. Make money.
Yeah.
So eventually it was going to be reissued. Lamentation of the Frost Princess's standards of writing, presentation, and borrowing classic bits are much different now. I didn't want to release a throwback, and I didn't want this new edition to be a celebration of past glories. I wanted something fresh. Something as striking for 2014 as the first printing had been in 2009. Enter Zach S.
Oh, your favorite person in the world.
Anyway, he's very familiar with the adventure, and he's often turning old concepts inside out and making them new again. I just gave the thing to him, pointed out specific bits of the adventure that needed a rewrite, and let him loosen the whole thing. The result is somewhere between a revision of the text and a complete rewrite of the adventure. It's more of a collaboration now, with a different perspective and 5 years of hindsight, creating something that can now stand as a wholly unique. It's going to chew your face off.
Yeah, it will chew your face off. This is a brutal adventure, and actually, come to think of it, the only time it hasn't been a TPK is I ran this adventure with Death March, so I did, and it was because they brought a lot of automatic weapons.
A literal artillery piece.
Yeah.
No, click.
Yeah, which is something that you need because in this adventure, it's brutal, mate. It's brutal. There's a lot of things in here that are automatic TPKs. Now, again, a lot of people complain about that with Lamentations. I think as a DM, all you got to do is like slightly tweak it, and you're fine to go. But if that's not your thing, if you just want everything the thing is, a pre-written adventure, you can't pre-written adventures are so hard because no party's going to keep to the fucking script. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's such a ridiculous concept. Anyway, let's get into this. So the approach, now this is what I like, because they throw in so many different ways to go about it, and they throw in, it's not like a random generator per se, but they do throw a lot of different ways to implement this, which does lead to a lot of replayability for me anyway, because I still haven't attempted all the different ways of going about this. You know what? This is spoilers. Normally I wouldn't do this for adventures because I find with most adventures I want it to be a bit of a surprise, but this book is very, very old at this point in internet ages anyway. It's 15 years old. If this is the first time you've came across it, I'm sorry for spoiling it for you. Turn the video off now.
Bro, spoiler alert is made in 2009. Like, okay, bro.
Look, it's an old one, but...
What do you mean Luke is Darth Vader's son? Spoiler alert. Fuck
yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. You know what, fuck it. Garbu, just throw us at it, so let's just go through it. And you know what, this is page number 8. So, again, this is completely new to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't seen this before, you haven't heard about this before. You're missing
was really my jam.
No, you're missing out. I suppose,
right,
I suppose the name on it just put you off, Zach.
You know I don't do that. You stop.
Yeah, okay.
There's a mountain that no one climbs. It dominates the landscape like fear and the memories of what once lived there. But memory recedes and rumor breeds, and the rumor is a rumor of gold. Someone will be the first to scale the White Mountain. That was my same nickname in fucking high school. It will be someone who is greedy, stupid, or fanatical, but also perhaps lucky. Setup. There is a settlement of your own design at the base of the mountain. If possible, it should be one that the players would miss, but the only requirement is that it be inhabited and relatively innocent. That is, the inhabitants should not deserve to be eaten. If this adventure is part of a campaign, feed the players stories of inconceivable wealth hidden in the mountain inside the shrine of an ancient death cult. If the players are in search of a special book, sword, or other story trinket is rumored to be there, and it is probably in Area 22, but don't tell them that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Area 22? What the fuck?
You'll see.
What the hell? If it's a one-shot, tell the players the background information and let them purchase equipment before heading up the mountain. If time is short, start the adventure at Zeke's. If time is really short or your players hate your NPC, start the graveyard. If the party asks around about the mountain and town, they'll get the facts. The reign of the cult upon the mountain was finally cut short over half a century ago when the villagers rose up and destroyed it with the help from escaped slaves and traders from within the cult. The place was consecrated by 12 clerics who gave up their lives to trap the evil inside. It might also are interested the referee to know the DM to know that that is these 12 clerics now transfigured skulls that adorn the chapel, Area 3. And that they trap the evil inside the shrine, partially using an ice magic derived from the liquid time that suffuses the mountain. The ice magic slowly melts away, releasing the corruption within. As soon as the party opens the door to Area 3 from Area 2, Table Chamber, while this information is not known to anyone in town, it may help the referee answer unexpected questions from the PCs or to create more adventure material using this module as a backdrop. I call the mountain Death Frost Mountain, but if that's too metal, it's Death. it's Death Rock Mountain. Like Jesus, like Death Frost Mountain isn't very metal to me, dude.
It's not the like subgenre. This is face fuck rock post.
It's Bleeding Tits Face Fuck Mountain. You know, so, like.
You get it, Garbu. It's edgy, okay? It's edgy.
You're right. It's just 3 edgy 6 memes. So
yeah.
it takes 16 to 20 hours to reach the peak. There are basically two ways to get up the mountain, using the path and not using the path. Not using the path seems scary because of the incredibly dense forest, constant minor avalanches, sheer rocks, and lurking wolves. Using the path might seem less scary, except for the fact that it was cut through the forest by an evil death cult. And there's no ramps for the wheelchair bound.
Yes. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we can totally talk. You know what? We mix this together. So I want to talk about this. You want to talk about wheelchairs. Can we talk about how this adventure is not compatible with wheelchair design? Trust me, you'll see. There's actually
Step one, you're on a mountain. You're already fucked. Right?
Yeah. No,
guys, my arms are so tired. I can't get up the fucking mountain back. Jesus. Someone's going like, why does Garbro hate wheelchairs so much? I don't understand.
Because that's what you do. You just go on about tipping people out of wheelchairs. You just hate the disabled. You're very ableist, you know?
I like parking in a disabled spot to make an effective walk. That's my favorite. If I'm going to like Target or Lowe's and I see a fat dude like gunning for a spot, I will break traffic laws that take that spot from him and make him walk. I'll do it.
Why do you Americans actually get that? Like, so if you're fat, can you get a disabled spot?
Well, so they'll make themselves so fat that, oh no, I can't walk to the front of the door. So they'll say they have like bad knees or some shit because fucking obviously. And they'll get a little placard because I'm a disabled veteran. I get a placard and a plate, and I will literally gun. I will ignore the veteran parking spots and take the handicap.
Wait, Americans have got veteran parking as well?
Some stores do. Not all the stores do.
Jesus Christ.
If you're in the Midwest, usually you'll find veteran parking.
All right, okay. Well, that's news to me anyway. Right, let's keep going. Well,
you see, here in the States, we actually like our veterans.
Yeah, you guys do. Yeah, I don't know. I like my veterans homeless personally, you know, and I like my refugees with like credit cards and stuff, you know.
I personally prefer my veterans homeless. What a fucking take! Holy shit!
Yeah, you know, actually, I can't say anything. I have a few jokes here lined up. But like, no,
Jesus Christ.
I can't.
I know for a fact that other veterans would laugh like a fucking motherfucker at that joke.
I think they would.
Sorry, I prefer my veterans homeless.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, Chud. You know.
Thank you for your service. Here's $1, Chud.
Oh God.
Okay, hold on. The referee should invent an icy and slow-going hell of predators and natural hazards which terminates at the peak. If they use the path, it will be eerily quiet but uneventful and will take them to the home of Zeke Doncaster after about 8 hours just below the tree line. Okay, home of Ezekiel Doncaster.
Yeah, I really like Ezekiel. I've done him loads of different ways. I actually really like these. See, this is what I like about this adventure. Like, they give you tons of different options, and I don't know why. I feel like more games need to do that. A lot of people just don't seem to do this, and I think they're missing out.
Western man.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are just missing out. Anyway, let's keep going.
I like how, again, it's a 100, but it's only just put a D12 there, you bunch of goobers. Is it just me being like jaded and old manish?
That does annoy me as well. That does. Does it change like the bell curve or anything?
Roll a D100 for these 12 options. Fuck you. Just give me a D12.
Yeah, the worst is whenever I see like a D50 table for a D100, because it's like, come on, guys, please.
Why are you like this? All right. The PCs will first smell and then see off to the side of the trail a chaotic scene of meat skins hanging from the lines of gut, fresh and dried blood, carved plaques, and wooden slabs. Small animals amateurishly taxidermized. What? Amateur taxidermy. All you gotta say.
Yeah.
Small animals amateurishly taxidermized, scattered tools, bones, and antlers, all surrounding a tent-like hut made from crude layers of stake-stretched hide. Human waste rots near a low stone wall downwind. Hello, moth. Many of the fucking moth just fucking slapped the side of my fucking head. Many of the skins are adorned with names written in blood. One reading Mary Bell Walker hangs over a large wooden plaque. The names again half reproduced on the plaque by the same hand that made and used the gnarled tools that lie strewn next to it, and that produced the failed drafts of the same marker scattered among the desperately knotted roots of a nearby tree. The man who made them is a terrible and tireless Okay, the man who made them is as terrible and tireless a woodworker as he's a taxidermist. His name is Zeke. Zeke wears clothes of hide and carries a bone knife, a wolf gut sling, and an axe carved from stone. His teeth are all there, but so rotted that everyone would prefer they weren't. He smells like fresh gore at any hour. He is as kind as he is disturbing and as insane. It's like a basic 4chaner. Got you.
Basic chuddery, no?
Chitty Witty?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there are options. Okay. So
yeah.
Option 1, there's a Zeke that's got a gray beard, is rustic and deaf. Option 2 is hairless, with skin drawn tight across his skull like a plucked tortoise. What?
Yeah, I did that one. A lot of the players thought he was undead. The way I described him, everyone was like, "Are you sure?" He just like well, to be fair, I didn't do myself any justice because I said, yeah, he kind of looks like he's wearing like a skin suit. He's got like, you know, that Cillian Murphy sort of like face going on. You know what I mean? Like he looks like he's almost like negative body fat. You know?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where I suppose if you're living off mostly meat in the mountainside, you're going to be a pretty sinewy fucking dude.
You've got all these different options for like what's he up to, like how do you come across them?
Oh, so he has like these little story hits for you then.
Yeah, and I think, you know what? This is what I really liked, because I felt, whenever I first began this adventure, I felt like this made me a better DM, if that makes any weird sense, from doing it from so many different like angles. You know what I mean? It almost gives you like a template to work off, because I always find with role-playing games, NPCs were always my weak part. I always struggled with NPCs. I always thought they were the hardest bit. Combat, I never had any issue with, but having like, see the idea of like running like a town or something, oh my god, that actually terrifies me. The webs of information just kills me. But I thought the way this was laid out has completely changed how I personally run games since doing that. It's one of the few times I've came across like a book that's actually made me a better DM instead of just an aid for an adventure. Does that make sense?
So, if engaged in conversation, he'll generously offer the PCs a meal of root tea and badger parts. What a distinguished gentleman.
he's a lovely guy. None of my players ate anything they give him. Like, they just did not trust this guy one bit.
Always give the crazy mountain man a Snicker bar just in case. You know?
Like, they just did not trust this crazy mountain man one bit. Like, they just did not like him at all. Like, they were really close to killing him, like, right off the bat. But he was just very insistent. It's like, no! To be fair, it doesn't help that I give him... What voice is that? I give him, like, Mrs. Doubtfire voice, so I did, no, my dears! Hello! That's what I did. Hello! Yeah. Yeah. You can see why the players thought he was fucking undead.
Hey, Jerry, we gotta kill this guy.
Yes, this is good. Anyway, look, let's keep going. So
he'll awaken... Yeah, so he'll awaken as soon as a PC enters the hut, unless they are using stealth. If he sees the party initially, he'll kindly greet them and offer a likely dripping and something stained handshake.
Yeah, that was how he made, hello, my dears! And he just like stretched his arm and no one wanted to shake his hand, but he just stayed there in place. So he did.
I ain't shaking your fucking hand, you crazy shit. Sit down. I've done that so many times. For my many fucking jobs, I always deal with fucking like, I'm not gonna shake your fucking hand, you weirdo. Sit down. God damn it. Like, leave me alone. Let's see. If the party ransacks his belongings before he arrives, he'll mutter about the disrespect of people these days and then calm down. Unless the party's taken or broken anything, in which he'll try to chase them away. If anyone seriously attacks him, he'll point a crooked finger and say darkly, I know the fate that awaits the soul of he who would slay his fellow man, do you? He only uses lethal force when hunting for food and will simply stand if attacked without running or defending himself in any way. Unless he suspects the PCs are trying to ascend the mountain. If asked about the names or wood carvings, he'll say, when I was young, evil lived on this mountain. It was destroyed, but not before it had taken thousands of innocents, piled in mass graves, no proper rites or marker. Lost to the gods and human memory alike. No one cared. The evil was gone, and that was all that mattered to anyone. But I remembered the faces. They were real men, real women, and they killed children too. They did things and had names, and I'll put every name I can find on a stone. I used to make... I hate finding a simple fucking, like, even on, like, this thing's been out for probably fucking 10 years or so, and in this one little one little letter is like fuck, like you can't go back and fix it.
Problem is, once it's print, unless it's print on demand.
Which is my biggest fear, is finding something in print and going, fuck, I missed something.
No.
But, yeah, I used to make Karen statues, but there are too many dead, and there are still. The bad men had a list of names in their old meeting place. I copy 100 at a time. I'll never finish. I am too old. I'm probably the only one left who remembers. So many. Or words to that effect. If he asks why he doesn't just take the list, he'll say, there's a curse laid on everything in that place. Cursed, you hear me? Cursed. If asked why the headstones are wood, he'll tell the party that everything made of wood turns to stone on the mountain, given time, and wood is easier to work with. If asked about the shrine cult or cabin, Zeke will be reticent. He was just a child then and believes the place is best left alone. He's only been in the first room of the cabin. If the PCs ask about any treasure, he'll say, no doubt they had trinkets and jewels. And then the referee should... Why do they call it the referee?
It's just the old version. Like, it used to be called... Originally, it was referee before Dungeon Master. And honestly...
If my DM's not wearing a striped shirt, a black cap, and a whistle, fuck you. I don't want to...
Honestly, I honestly am at the point where I think referee should be the name given, because I feel like you're more just keeping track of the goals almost, you know what I mean? It's keeping the players right almost. I don't know. I like referee. The more I think about it, the more I'm interested in it. But that's an entire video topic, so I don't want to get into that. So, how wheelchair accessible do you think this is so far?
Pretty fucked, yeah. I doubt the forest path is very wheelchair accessible to those who are using a non-mechanically driven tank track fucking...
Yeah, probably not going to make it. Let's keep going.
Then the referee should lean over the table as far as possible and stare into the player's eyes and say, but are they worth your soul?
Are they worth your soul?
I could imagine like a 400-pound neckbeard trying to lean over the fucking table, like grunting and sweating. But are they worth your soul?
Get they be. You know what? Do I have to get a picture of James Gadget up for you so you can imagine what the...
Just hefting up his giant gunt and put it on the table so you can lean over it and... But are they worth your soul?
Right, okay, here you go. Let me just you know what, that's a nice photo of...
I love the Crumb Magnum brow. But are they worth your soul?
Oh fuck, poor James. Poor James gets it off like sweet as.
If James can laugh at it, he's good. But if he gets all fucking butthurt, then whatever.
Yeah, no.
Don't make fun of my Crumb Magnum brow, bro.
Crumb Magnum. I haven't heard that. Fuck you,
Unga bunga, what you do? Me referee. If the PCs begin heading up the mountain in his presence, he'll warn them to stop and try to physically restrain them if his warnings ignored. He won't use lethal force, but will try to wrestle PCs to the ground. However, if the PCs convincingly say that they are there to visit the grave of a dead friend or relative, he will reluctantly allow them to pass. After all, there's no point in Zeke making a monument if nobody ever sees them. He will, however, say they should leave at dawn and get to the peak and be back as Hut before sundown. If he is somehow a helpless witness to the PC's ascent, he'll of course howl, "You're doomed, you're all doomed."
Doomed!
If he's coercing...
Doomed, they say! No, you need to do the Mrs. Doubtfire voice, so you do. Doomed, my dears! Doomed, my dears!
Face covered in fucking whipped cream. If he's coerced into going to the mountain, he'll try to escape at the first opportunity. If asked to care for the party's animals, he'll be happy to do it, but will slaughter horses and mules for food if the party isn't back in 2 days. He is certain the party will die anyway.
Yeah, okay. And again, look, this is one of the ones where I feel like whenever you're trying to like write something or do anything or try to go on a game, think about what stuff's actually important. What is the point of this NPC? You know what I mean? And that
my wheelchair.
Well, yeah, the wheelchair is very important, but that covers everything that the players need. Does that make sense? And I think that changed. I don't know, maybe I used to get, this was back whenever I used to get bogged down in minutia and I would get worried about prepping games and stuff, and I'm at the point where it's like, I don't prep shit, I just show up on the night and see what happens. You know what I mean?
I like going in naked and afraid. My favorite, it's like literally I can plan and I realize they're not going to use half that shit.
Yeah, so
like, you know, I'm going in naked and afraid and covered in oil, fuck this. I was going to the game.
So like, let's oh, you know what, this bit's important, so it is. So we'll skip over the peak, so we will, because that's just them climbing up, but we'll go straight to the graveyard then, will we? Because the graveyard acts slightly differently, so it does.
So what, a regular graveyard?
Well, you'll find like it's you'll understand the whole death, frost, doom aspects. You know what I mean? The frost aspect of the.
Oh yes, the frost of the death and doom.
Yeah, the frost. You guys will find out. You guys will find out. Like, let's go for it. Let's keep going. What do you think so far, Garb? Is this something that tickles your fancy at all? Could you?
Oh, probably.
Probably. Well, okay.
Anyway, so let's go down to the graveyard. The graveyard is composed of hundreds of gravestones, a dozen or so mausoleums, and a few statues, agonizingly hewn by the strange hand of Zeke Duncaster over the last half century. But there are thousands more dead beneath the ground. By day, a thick mist cloaks the area, muting colors down to a sunless gray. By night, the air is clear as a new ice, but the statues seem to shift in the light of a strangely wavering moon. Even highly trained animals will refuse to enter this area, and hirelings will not stand guard alone. If anyone sleeps in sight of the graveyard, they will be visited by the tortured souls, crying in terrifying nightmares as the spirits hopelessly attempt to communicate a fraction of their pain in the night. There is a 25% chance that such sleep will not count as a full night's rest, and a separate 25% chance that the sleeper being so shaken that he/she will experience a -5%, -1 to all rolls until they get a full night's sleep. This effect is cumulative.
I think if I remember, the only time I used any of that stuff, like the ghost stuff, was I think it was the Death March one I did of this, and it was Mittens. He was playing a parody.
Mittens.
He was playing a parody.
Old Mittens.
He was playing a parody of Tolkien, so he was, and he was called Johnny Rotten Glow Token, so he was, and of course he had a flamethrower, which I had a lot of fun with. I killed him by accident in a later game. He survived this one, but yeah, I got him. He got chased around the graveyard by a load of ghosts. I thought it was pretty fun. He enjoyed it.
So anyway, so you sleep there, you get affected. If anyone casts Speak with Dead here, the spell will work no matter when the victim is slain, so anxious are the dead to communicate. However, no mortal will be able to withstand the full knowledge of what was done to them. The caster will take D4 damage, be able to ask no questions, have a 25% chance to gain a random insanity, a separate 50% chance to lose a point of constitution, and a separate 50% chance to gain 1 point of wisdom. They will hear an incoherent tale of unimaginable torture and degradation, and gain the knowledge that casting Bless on a body will release its soul to whatever proper afterlife may await it. If anything wood is left in the cemetery, cabin, or vicinity, it will turn to stone after a week. That's pretty cool. If the party performs a thorough search for at least 30 minutes of in-game time, or 15 if one of the PCs has exceptional hearing, they will discover a shaft. This shaft, shaft.
So I'll skip over this stuff because that's a bit too. I don't want to. No spoilers of sorts. But let's go with. No, let's keep going. So there's a bit of I'll go back up to the map to show you, Garbu. Have you got it open? So you can see here, the path. You get dumped off here. Pretty much, go through the graveyard. There's some stuff in the graveyard, but this doesn't start to get really fun until the cabin. What the fuck is that? About a million things going on in my computer there. Hold on, let me turn all that shit off. So let's get back down to the cabin, because the graveyard's okay. There's a bit of murder. Well, you guys will find out. Look, let's go for the cabin.
There's some goth girl shit going on.
Yeah, there's some of that. Now, the cabin has got every single thing within the cabin has got something to it. This thing is packed. Absolutely packed. And most times I've run this, pretty much the players only just manage to finish off the cabin because there's so much to do. There's so much to do, and they get stuck, and it's a bit of a puzzle. But let's go through it. This is honestly, I love this cabin. It's so much fun. I think it's probably my favorite part of the adventure. Not gonna lie. Well, there's
also a classic horror trope. The cabin,
yeah,
the most nostalgic of horror tropes is simply having a cabin somewhere creepy.
Well, what was that one that you were playing? I remember you were doing a live stream a while back, and you were in a cabin and you were getting hunted by skinwalkers or something, and you're like, right, I'm just gonna hide it and bunker down and just put a load of claymores at the front door. What was that game again? Do you remember that?
I cannot remember. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it would have been at least 2 years ago now. So I
was gonna bunker down. Fuck this shit.
Yeah. Right. Let's go for this then, will we? The petrified cabin.
All right. The petrified cabin is shabby and bizarre. The roof seems to sag beneath the weight of snow
Oh,
and dead centuries, and
you
the
see that?
walls are scrawled with what?
You see the picture? I'll go to the next page.
Yes, yeah.
Is that wheelchair accessible?
Fuck no, that's not. That's literally anti-wheelchair accessible. That's going to eat wheelchairs.
No. Usually someone's going to have to get carried.
Oh god, our wheelchair-bound ranger, she's dead! Ah! Rolls on the fucking mountain.
Oh, right. Let's get back to it. I don't even want to talk about wheelchairs.
You hate to see it, Winky Face.
Yeah.
The roof seems to sag beneath the weight of snow and dead centuries, and the walls are scrawled with neurotically minute calligraphic writing in the bleak and ancient language of the Duvan Ku. Ask everyone their alignment before entering the cabin so that you can properly describe the mirror when it comes up. If the party tries to read the script, they'll need comprehend languages, read magic, a specialist language ability, or the like. Some arguably useful information can be found hidden amid the dark inanities, like look upon the seven faces of immensity, look upon the breaker of all things, and this is the fifth octacle. This is the greater servitude. There are mystical protection runes indicating the cabin was once defended like a fortress, as well as runes referencing a bound and conquered god. There are also names that come up a lot: the Twin Inquisitors, Ezethret Nex, and Gorgulos Nex, Porgan Vox, Nazir, and Azat, Exalted Interrogator. Fuck off.
Yeah, I was wondering how long you were going to make it before I read that shit.
Yeah. Okay. That's all. That's word salad.
All claim to be resting
Resting
in
the splendor.
Yeah.
Gracing this place with the death. Yeah, gracing the place with death and that which they liberated from life, and other euphemisms for buried here with a lot of stuff in crypts behind the Black Tunnel. There's also what appears to be an incomplete formula for trapping and channeling the energies of tortured and obedient souls in some kind of liquid. The front door. The front door is petrified and sits hingeless and unattached to its frame, though this won't be obvious.
Yeah,
if the door is examined, this will be quickly revealed and anyone can quietly open it. If someone tries to open the door without examining it carefully, first the door will fall loudly forward into the cabin's main room. Roll some dice, pretend to consult a chart, and quietly open your eyes as wide as you can.
See, that's the type of shit. And they threw this throughout the book. It's like,
what happened? What did I do?
Oh my god, what did you guys do?
Find out.
What the fuck did you guys do? Oh my god. Like, you know, just bury your face in your hands whenever this happens. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, you know, make it... Nothing. Like, you know, that's what you want. You want your players to be like, oh, gee, this is why I like lethal games. You want your player to actually be invested, and if a player goes into 90% of their games, they'll be fine. Are they actually gonna be invested? You know what I mean? It's that type of shit that you need to do. I don't know. So yeah, you heard it here from James Lodgy back in 2009. In fact, it is called Gaslight Your Players.
Whichever will unnerve your players more. You also might want to check to see if you have enough spare character sheets for these non-door checking before door to layer of ancient evil opening schmucks you got for players.
Mate, you fucking opened the door, mate. You didn't open the door.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, see, this is the type of stuff that I love. This is what makes this book for me anyway. So look, let's keep going. So the back door.
The back door. The back door is battered but functional. Footprints lead out to the door to Area C above, where Norquist ore fell. The windows. The windows are intact but not made to open. There are tiny bubbles scattered in the thick, distorting glass. If broken, they repair themselves the next time no one is watching. And the glass is curiously cold, even colder than you expect. It feels like ice.
Yeah, that freaked
windows.
out. Yeah, they freaked out the players. Something shocking. Like, they really freaked out the players. I don't want to spoil. You know what? I'll say what happened with me like a few different times when we finish off the cabin. How does that sound? Let's just bang this out, will we? So you could, in theory, throw a wheelchair player through the window, and the window would repair itself. Is that what you're saying?
Your guys coming in glass. Did you make it inside? Are you okay? I'm bleeding.
Yeah, just throw in, you know, the Millhouse meme of him going through the window.
Just do like that spinning cartwheel throw where you hold onto the handles.
Yeah.
Spinning around.
Yeah.
Just shot put him to the fucking window.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. Inside, if the PCs cross the threshold into the cabin, they'll begin to hear harpsichord music coming from the southeast corner of the cabin, not quite harmonizing with the eerie sound on the wind. If the PC sleeps in the cabin, they'll suffer the same effects as if they slept in the graveyard, except the chances of failing to rest and receive a minus are 50%. Okay, so don't sleep in there. The largest room in the cabin filled with mundane items, most of which are covered in thick dust. If the dead return to life while the party are still in the shrine, this room will contain D6 mass grave undead. When the party first come back to this room, and a D6 more will arrive once the undead see any living party member. So it's like a spawn point?
Yeah, well, you'll see. It's yeah, well, that's one more for it. You'll find out. It's actually, put it like this, if you mess up this adventure, you've pretty much destroyed your entire campaign. It's kind of the same. I've taken something similar with the Bastard Princess. The Bastard Princess, you can see a lot of, I wouldn't call them imitations, but I do play pretty much exclusively Lamentations at this moment in time. So you can really see, you can see it coming through. You know what I mean? Because that's what I play. You know what I mean? Look, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. I love the cabin, so I really want to like focus on it so well.
Gotcha. The chairs. There are 3 chairs. They're one behind the desk and 2 in the northeast corner. They will be facing the PCs no matter which direction they enter from. In fact, if the room is ever empty, the chairs will always rearrange themselves into that position, no matter how much they have been rearranged in between, and appear facing the next visitor. If the chairs are destroyed or moved out of the cabin, they will not reappear. If any other chairs are brought into the room, they will behave the same way as these chairs. The book. A great book as thick as a torso, lies on a simple desk. It is bound in the flesh of virgin elves with fittings of tarnished brass. Okie dokie. The cover reads, that which was given in the most ancient and demonic form of the language of Duvanku. It contains over 6 million names. 6 gorillion names.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
Oy vey.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
How can you not make that joke? Come on. Where do you think you are right now?
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
If the book is perused, the handwriting and ink vary from page to page and document 9 millennia worth of sacrifices, with dates written in 67 different calendars. The book has not been in continuous use. An examination of the entries will reveal time gaps ranging from a few years to over 1,000. The names at the beginning of the book are not all even recognizable as names. Some entries record nearly unpronounceable combinations like Tikishnaka phonetically in the tongue of Duvanku, and some use the cuneiforms and pictographs of the victims' native tongues. The latest used pages, there are dozens of unused pages in the back, have familiar sounding names in the common tongue and alphabet. The last few hundred have Zeke's red fingerprint next to them. He started with the names he remembered and worked backwards. There are many more names in the book than bodies in the mountain. Many were burned, flattened, or thrown into the sea. If the book is taken and studied, is this like the don't do that?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Well, put it like this: one of the new books.
Don't touch the book in the cabin.
Well, the new one of the new ones that I've got is called "Don't Fuck the Priest," and it even says in it, "Don't tell the players what the name of this adventure is. Just don't." Like, you know, so you can safely assume, you know, you like, look, you know what, I'm going it this Sunday. The players are going to find out. No cheating, all right? I know at least one of you are going to watch this video.
Okay. If the book is taken and studied, the book will not survive rough handling or the rigors of any kind of hasty travel, but is in the long term a treasure trove of information for those who know how to find it. So I don't want to try and spoil this. This seems pretty important. So basically, if you read it, it's full of information. Okay, that's good. I suppose.
You can get a lot from it, so you can. The trophy, the fireplace. Oh, I freaked the fuck out of the players with that fireplace, so I'd go with that. Sure, go with that.
The trophy in the fireplace. A stag's head is mounted above the fireplace, who's currently soy-facing in the picture. The fireplace is in... Oh! He's like a little hand. He's like a little hand pointing backwards. The book. It's a I'm pointing hoof, going pointing the book in the background. Bro, could you imagine? Anyway.
I was thinking more Evil Dead reference, but yeah, I could do Sweet Jack reference.
If it's
Fuck off.
the fireplace is empty but works normally.
Six car.
If it
No, I can't.
6 million. It's pointing the book. Stop it.
I'm gonna have to cut out so much of this.
Yeah. If the eyes, as the dead arise and mass from their graves, the stag's head will rock back and forth and laugh hysterically. If the eyes are carefully examined, it will reveal that the apparently amber-colored glass eyes are cold like ice, as cold the windows, and hollow. They have a syrupy-like substance inside. This is the soul of the corpse outside, Norquist ore mixed with liquid time. The tiny amount of goo will slide. If one eye is shattered, the tiny amount of goo will slide toward Orv's body and partially reanimate him. The corpse will moan and move ever so slightly, opening and closing its fingers slowly, twisting as if burned by the wind, but that's it.
Oh,
If both eyes are shattered, the corpse will reanimate fully after 10 minutes. Orv died in agony, haunted by the souls of the surrounding dead, and will lash out at anything that moves.
Yeah, I pretty much just possessed one of my players whenever they did that, pretty much. But I don't want to say too much for what happened because, you know, you guys will find out. Let's keep going, will we? What do you think? I don't know, like, honestly, I feel like not enough people, everyone does magic items, but no one does cursed stuff. I want people to be scared. You know what I mean? I want players to be, like, actually, like, nervous of touching anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that I think is lost on a lot of people or a lot of DMs. You know, it's like, no, we need to give them nice gifts. We need to give them nice things. We give them this. We give them that. It's like, nah.
I give you nothing but suffering.
I want to get, like, at least 50-50 that, at least. You know what I mean? Come on, guys. If the eyes are shattered, the corpse will reanimate. Let's keep going.
Yeah, so the corpse reanimates the mirror. The mirror in the center will not reflect chaotic aligned creatures or their gear or clothes, etc. The cultists use it to detect spies. It only works when in this room. The runes for every brother, every sister, and unseen in the language of the Duvan Ku are decipherable on the scrollwork around the glass. The glass is faintly bubbled and as cold as ice because it's fucking frozen water, probably. The trapdoor. The trapdoor is chained with a large padlock securing it. Opening it reveals a 50-foot deep shaft with handholds but no ladder. Climbing requires both... Definitely not wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, I was about to say. You know, by the way, we're still in the first room of the cabin, by the way. We haven't even got that far. And let me see if I can get up the map here. Where's the map? It's in the first one. Yeah. If you go back up to, like, the second page, you can see, like, literally... This is what I love. It's chock-a-block full of just shit. You know what I mean? I just want stuff. Like, you know, you can really spend an entire session just in this cabin alone. You know what I mean? Everything has got a purpose. Everything's going to do something. And the way it's laid out, I find it was very easy for me, anyway, to keep up with the adventure. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's not a silly amount of information, and everything is kind of like independent within itself. So only unless a player starts to like interact with something, I'm like, oh fuck, hold on, let me skip a cut. You know what I mean? Let me see what's going on. So anyway, the mirror.
What does this thing do?
Yeah,
you touched a teacup, your ass gets bigger. I don't know.
Yeah. So the trapdoor.
So basically, it's a trap door. You got to go down there. You have a chance of hitting the wall and breaking stuff. So. The clock, a cabinet-sized water clock carved in a vaguely cathedral-like shape, stands against the wall. It works, but the time displayed will be randomized. It will shift to another random time every time the room is left empty. What the? So it's a fucky-wucky clock that has birds around it. I don't want to fucking ruin things.
No, oh, go on. No, dude, this one's fun, so it is.
All right. A pair of astral taxidermized, just say taxidermied. What the fuck? Taxidermied birds, a blackbird and a balding cuckoo. There's a chair in the corner.
Yeah, there's a chair in the corner. Fuck off.
each pushing a marble.
It's the deer. It's the Jack deer. Watch her. Oh my god. I need to go on this adventure again. I
can see Zach going, they're making fun of my stuff. I hate this shit. Well, it's not funny, guys. It's a serious book.
I would say this is more James's book, if I be honest with you. Like, don't get me wrong, James did do some stuff in here, but like, you know, it's not that much of a, like, you know, change, if I be honest with you. You know what I mean? But do you want to leave this one, or do you want to keep going?
It's up to you. I mean, if you think it's worth discussing.
I like it. I think it's really cool. Again, like, you know, I like to give, like, it's not exactly cursed, the clock, but I mean, it could be cursed.
We'll go through this. This whole portion here is the fucking clock. So there's two birds pushing marbles on this clock. If the bird's eyes and marbles are examined, they'll be revealed to be composed of strange glasses cold as ice, half filled with some kind of dirty liquid. The liquid is actually the soul of a traitor to the Duvan Ku, Magan Azanthrast, split into 6 parts, mixed with liquid time, and driven mad by imprisonment in the clock. If, and only if, all 6 beads are shattered, the soul of Magan Azanthrast will attempt to possess someone in the room. Each PC, clockwise around the table, should save versus magic. The first to fail is possessed and will immediately attempt to destroy any evidence of the Duvan Ku. Incite and then commit suicide. Could you imagine?
Well, it was Mittens that did this. He didn't commit suicide. He just gone outside with the book, but the book, like, lit on fire, essentially. Like, it's spontaneously combusted on him. And then, well, you know what? I don't want to say too much. Like, let's keep going.
Possessed PCs are allowed to save every other round to expel Eisenthras, and he will eventually give up once each PC has survived a save, going on to attempt to possess the next closest creature, probably a tethered animal or Zeke, and continue his mission until exercised or successful. If the hands of the clock are moved, a time distortion occurs. It will only affect the PC who moved the hands. If it was more than one simultaneously, the target is random. A second distortion cannot be initiated while another is still in effect. Also, once an effect ends, no new distortion can be initiated until the length of time equal to the length of hand. Yada yada yada. Time stuff. So you can move the hand backwards, move the hand forwards. They both do things. Damaging the internal mechanism or moving the clock removes its magic forever. Oh, just moving the clock?
Yeah, about damaging it. You know what I mean? The insides of it. You know,
interesting.
Look, let's keep going. So, kitchen, pantry, bedroom. So, there's a lot of funky wonky stuff in here. So, well, and honestly, I love it. I think it's so much fun. But let's get into it. So, the first part of the adventure, we're going up the mountain. We go through a graveyard. We get to the cabin. Within the cabin, there's a trapdoor. And within the trapdoor is, I'm going to call it a doomsday cult shrine tomb of sorts, and it's a fucking disaster. Like, it just turns into a disaster for everyone involved. I don't want to go through every last bit of this because I feel like it would spoil too much, but I'll go through some of the highlights, will we? So you go down the stair, or not the trapdoor, the screaming halls, that's lovely. The ice skulls, here we go. So the ice skulls, this is what really fucks people up. So this is where, like, your game is pretty much ruined if you fuck this up too much. So do you want to go with the ice skulls on page 25?
The ice skulls. These are a kind of clock that starts running as soon as the door between here and area 2 is opened. Every 10 minutes after the door is first opened, one of the skulls falls to the floor and shatters clockwise.
Yeah, this is where my players fucked up every time.
Other than unnerving players, this time's how long it's been since the cursed frost mortaring the crypts has started melting. For each skull that falls, i.e. every 10 minutes since the west door has been opened, it will take the dead one less minute to reanimate, to see hell's vomits its filth, once the creature in Area 22 is defeated. If they all drop, the dead will reanimate instantly when that creature is destroyed. The time the skulls record can be sped up by destroying a skull or removing from its hook, but not slowed down or stopped, even if, for example, the PCs rig a skull up to the chain. Once the west doors to the chapel is open, the countdown has inexorably begun. Of course, the dead still need to not return if the PCs leave the creature in Area 2 in peace. Start counting the minutes here. To paraphrase a dead man, you will not have a spooky enough adventure if strict time records are not kept.
Yeah, so my players always fuck up here because none of them realize it's a timer, even though I try and say to them, like, yeah, it's been exactly 10 minutes since the last one fell down, by the way, guys. None of them realize it's a timer, and they just spend the entire time trying to fuck about with these fucking skulls. So what is hell vomiting its filth then? Will we go and see that on which page is that? Let's see. I think that's at the very end. So this is what happens if you fuck up. and pretty much this is universal what happens. Every game I've played, this has happened. And you can see why this worked so well with Death March. Whenever I first got this, like, I'm totally using this for Death March. So do you want to go for it?
What page is this?
Page 56.
Oh, 50. Okay. So, 56. Hold on.
Yeah, so it's way at the back.
So hell vomits its filth. This is a section that explains what happens if the PC kill the sacred parasite in Area 2-2 and the souls return to the dead. The sacred parasite, created by the cult from an innocent victim via long-forgotten blasphemies in an attempt to slowly grow a new god, feeds on the blood and vital fluid from the entombed creature beneath the mountain and from the mass of compacted dead human flesh integrated into the mountain substrate. Because its metabolism is infected with the liquid time that condenses when pure rain water hits the peak of the sacred mountain, it spontaneously absorbs and suspends most of the soul slain here inside the glass-like spheres of liquid time throughout its body. When its body collapses, the souls of the innocent, agonized by the creature's bizarre song for hundreds of thousands of years, and the wicked, to whom the song is a lullaby, return to their bodies. It will take a number of minutes equal to the number of ice skulls left in room 3 for the dead to animate. The closest undead to the party when the sacred parasite is defeated will be the 8 children in Area 20. The undead will be drawn to the source of any loud noise, including combat. Protection spells will work normally, but wards and turning usually won't, as there will be so many unaffected undead behind the front line that the turned will have nowhere else to go. They seek only to devour the living.
Yeah, it literally turns into the first Resident Evil movie, pretty much. Like, you can see why the only time my players haven't died gunning this is because they brought automatic weapons against essentially zombies.
Just fucking mow them down.
Yeah, it was the only, like, see if you're doing this in a generic fantasy setting, it just does, there's just too many of them. Like, it's silly. Like, 6 million, okay? There's quite literally 6 million. 6 million undead you're gonna have to contend with.
6 gorillion zombies.
Yeah. So,
carrying only whatever meager belongings they were buried with and wearing only rotted ceremonial garb, they have little to slow them down. They do not tire, and while the entombed dead are slow-moving, the buried cult victims can move as fast as an ordinary human. They are unintelligent and do not communicate, though a handful occasionally scream or laugh, but they will follow each other to prey. If unimpeded, the first undead, likely the ones in the mass graves unless the others are commanded by Maximus, will begin to reach Zeke's place in 24 hours, at the base of the mountain 48 hours after that. If chasing living beings, they'll scramble wildly, tossing themselves heedlessly over obstacles and sheer drops, arriving at Zeke's in 6 hours, at the base of the mountain 19 hours after that. Running past the creatures in a corridor requires a roll under dexterity check at a penalty to dex equal to the number by which the undead to be passed out of whatever the fuck math. Yeah. Climbing over them on the wall or ceiling can be done, but the creatures will eventually clamber over each other to get to the climber. Basically, the climber gets a +4 to the check. Outrunning creatures, which run as fast as you and start running at the same round, is always a tricky question in traditional RPGs. Okay, so yada yada. So they're basically pursuing.
Yeah.
The entombed dead in the shrine will easily escape their crypts, and in moments, the entombed will be at the doors to their respective areas. It will take them 6d6 plus 4 hours to climb the shaft up to Area F and reach the surface unless they are organized by Maximus or some other force able to control them. If the doors are open, they will stream out. If not, it will take them 10 minutes to figure out the mechanism. Onlookers on the other side will see the wheel experimentally turning and hearing pounding on the doors. The dead in the mass graves on the surface will begin to dig through the frozen soil and reach the surface a number of minutes. After the sacred parasite is gone, equal to the... Oh, yeah, okay. And they fear the dead of the Duvan Ku and will scatter in random directions down the mountain once more than 20 of the undead from the shrine appear. What exactly are these living dead anyway? Option 1. In James's original Death Frost Doom, these creatures were ghouls and zombies because George Romero is awesome. I agree.
Yeah, I would
Option 2. When I ran it, I made them all skeletons because by 2009, you couldn't swing a reanimated cat without hitting a zombie movie or a zombie walk or a zombie tattoo or zombie flavored vodka or whatever. And I thought if they were all skeletons, that they reminded me of those old paintings like Brigu's Triumph of Death, where walking. Is this one giant skeleton, you fucking monkey? That's all one sentence with hold on. There's 2 commas. Zach, I swear to God.
Zach, boys. So yeah, pretty much you get fucked up. Now I'll tell you how my players managed to escape this. Essentially, they managed to get a pigeon out, so they did, and they managed to get a homing pigeon, so they did out, and they managed to get out right on a hot air balloon out of the mountain, and artillery was called down within 5 minutes. Yeah, they managed to escape on
a hot air balloon.
Yeah. I let the players have a hot air because I was like, fuck it, you guys can have it. I'll let you guys away with it. You know what I mean? They loved it. They thought it was fun, and they managed to escape just in time. With it was the only time I've played this where they did no one. Pretty much, if you're playing this in a fantasy setting, the players are just going to die. There's too many undead. There's just too many undead to do anything about it. Let's go back up, though. So that's pretty much what happens if you get fucked up. What I want to go back to is check out the clips, because I think they're very, very interesting. So we kind of saw about the parasite.
There are 3,000. So it's 3,000, 4,000. So it's basically over like 7,000 NPCs that is awake if you fuck things up.
Yes.
They're up.
Yeah, this is why a lot of people have issues with this. Now, don't get me wrong, you could turn the number down. You could, honestly, if you just turned it to maybe 100, most players could deal with that. You know what I mean? You could.
I don't want them. I want them to suffer and die, not deal with it.
Yeah. So, if it's up to you, if you want to turn the difficulty down a wee bit, I would just adjust how many undead get summoned. I don't know, 7,000. Whatever you players, if you got on this with Death March, which it works really well with the idea of undead and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I honestly, Garp, I want to see you do this with Veil Riders and see how you would work it in. Reimagine a lot of this sort of stuff, because I think you'd have a lot of fun with it. But
it. Well, I would need their permission first of all.
No, well, I mean, just play about with it. I'm saying I'm not saying you sell this. I'm saying more of you do it as a just a fun.
Oh,
adventure.
like on the stream now.
Yeah, just on a stream, not being sold or anything. But I want to go back up. So if we go back up to the very top, you can see the map. So you can. I'm want to skip us right to the. Because a lot of the stuff, there's a lot of investigating, but I think the NPCs in this are really fun. We'll skip over the parasite because you kind of have an idea of what the parasite's about, because we did the.
Yeah, this guy's got a pretty cool hat though.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Of the blessed afflictor.
Yeah, so he's
This is the only crypt with an unbarred door. It is carved with an image of a man holding aloft a child pierced by 8 swords, kind of based. The inhabitant, Praetor Pontifex Cyrus Carnothrax Maximus, was embalmed in a sitting position on the same war throne for which he once commanded the legions of Duvanku. He has, however, been awake and aware for 7 centuries, but is barred by an oath from leaving the tomb unless he is once again invited to lead a force in battle by a living being. When the PCs first arrive, the long-robed skeletal lord will be sitting in his throne, his leering, skinless head slightly askew beneath his massive crown, contemplating unknown depravities and escape. He wears 1,100 SP worth of jewelry. He will not attack unless he is himself attacked, in which case he will use his abilities to take a hostage or otherwise negotiate a truce. Ooh.
I tried to get him so he's got this oath and he can't leave the room. Oh, I was trying to do.
You walk in here. Well, from over the fucking throne.
Pretty much, I was trying to throw everything at the players, trying to get them. Be like, no, you guys can join me. What are you on about? Look, we've got all these undead, and at this point, the undead had already been woken up. They were just they were constantly fighting behind them the entire way at this point, because there was just so many of them. I think they had managed to block off one of the doors though, so they'd managed to buy themselves a bit of time to go through all these rooms. But the guy was like, "No, mate, look, I'll get my undead to stand down. You guys just promise me loyalty, But the players never bet. I was actually quite surprised by that. The players never bet. And normally my players would do that. A lot of the people I would play with would be like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, okay, we'll get us out of a tight situation, But let's go for it. Let's see what this one has to be, and then we'll finish up. So we're all for death.
All right.
Yeah?
If refused, he will attempt to kill or dominate the party one by one until his terms are accepted. If he's defeated, Maximus's special abilities, other than the undead control and his typical undead abilities, are contained in spells etched into the bones on his arms. Magic users may learn them as other spells, but only by replacing a section of their own arm with the part containing Maximus' spell. In addition to the surgery and healing time involved, this will cause D12 permanent reduction in hit points per spell and section. The magic user will be able to use the abilities as if they filled a spell slot equal to the highest spell level they had access to when they saw Maximus defeated. If Maximus is in danger of defeat and the dead have risen, he will go to the secret door to Area 2-2 and destroy it. If Maximus is in danger of defeat and the dead have not risen, he will enlist the other greater repugnances in his cause. If they are not available, he will crawl deep into the bottomless pit, hoping that the curse on the pit will defeat those who attempt to harass him. The Praetor will make it clear that he is trapped, though he will still make it seem as though he is trapped in this room rather than trapped in the tombs of the greater repugnance area, and is forbidden to leave until beings from the surface request he lead an army. The terms of the imprisonment require both parties to make their agreement of their own free will. Under threat from the thousands of living dead is okay, just not under magic compulsion. If at least a third of the party agrees, he will lead them to the testifier in Area 29, the only cult member interred here whom he trusts since his betrayal, or his skull where he will swear, I, Praetor Pontifex, yada yada, makes his oath, and request at least 1/3 of the party swear their own oath. Once these oaths are concluded, Maximus will proceed with his escort, the PCs, and the testifier Ervik Knarn to any of the areas 24, 25, 27, 28 that still have undefeated cult members inside and have them swear an oath to join him. Then he will leave. He'll prefer to leave by night. He can and will command the hordes of undead from the subterranean catacombs, but cannot control the cult victims whose bodies have reanimated above the surface. If the PCs cannot see him safely down the mountain, he will command his new army to do so, visibly reveling in the resumption of his military role, which is fairly easy because the mass grave undead are terrified of the assembled undead cult members and will flee them. He will have his creatures bring him the freshest corpse they might find, including that of any PCs who have not taken his oath, slain so that he might wear their skins as a disguise. Maximus is entirely evil, and aside from the PC's own survival, no good will come of his emancipation. His army will disperse the tortured dead throughout the countryside and then hold the mountain as a fortress, waiting while the disguised Maximus accompanies the PCs down the mountain to execute whatever orders are necessary for Maximus to locate the dead king in the dead city of Duvanku, regain his station as overlord of the legions of the imperial necropolis, and initiate new and cataclysmic genocides. Actually, Maximus could want about 1 million other things to do depending on your campaign. Tailor his aims to fit the kind of adventures you like to run. The important thing is, he sees the players as insignificant, and once they help him reach civilization, he ignores and likely forgets them. They are thus free to spend a chunk of the rest of the campaign dealing with the trouble they just caused. Despite his apathy toward them, Maximus will observe the PCs in an attempt to learn about how the world has changed in the last 700 years. This is why he doesn't immediately just bring his troops with him and start telling them to lay waste to the world and to perfect a disguise. The referee is also encouraged to come up with interesting ways to delay or complicate their travel together. Perhaps the party runs into a group of pilgrims who insist on blessing everyone in the group. Don't treat Maximus as a piece of equipment after the party leaves the mountain. He will not allow lawful clerical magic in his presence. He will speak esoteric truths. And he will question PCs and passing NPCs alike as to the nature of the new reality he has awoken to. Once the party reaches a city of at least 8,000, their oath is fulfilled, they will know it, and Maximus will go about the work of integrating himself into society and scheming.
So yeah, you pretty much fucked your campaign up. Pretty much, you've got a mad lich take hold in your universe, which, you know what, could have been worse.
Why not?
Yeah, okay, so there's only one last thing I want to show people in this adventure because I think it's funny. Let me just get it here 1 second. This might be a wee bit because I need to. Oh, here we go. Number 9. It's on page 31. So we just go for page 30.
Page 31. I will find page 31 eventually. There he is. Okay.
Fancy toilet.
Okay. Fancy toilet. And as long abandoned pre-germ theory toilets in the subterranean headquarters of ancient murderer cults go, it's all right. This one has a stone chair.
So yeah, there you go.
Fancy toilet.
Yeah, honestly, I really love this adventure, and you know what? I've used it a couple of times for Death March. I haven't. You know what? I don't think I've done it yet for Dice and Demons, so I'll probably need to do that. So I will. I love this adventure. I think it's one of my... Like, if I don't have anything set up, I just got this. I really enjoy it. What do you think, Arbro? Is it yay? Is it nay? Is there anything you think that's gay and boring? Is there anything you think that you know,
this is gay. It's boring. Fuck. No, it seems just fine. It seems like a great launching point for someone who needs something that's new and fresh in their campaign, because you want to sock this thing in there.
Yeah.
As well as you could run this as a simple one shot on Halloween. You know,
yeah,
this is one of those things where it's a good book to use, and it's at least lore rich in non-expounding, brain melting ways.
Yeah, that makes the only problem. I think the biggest problem with this is if you fuck it up, you probably have ruined your campaign. It's going to be very hard for your players to change the course of this event, you know what I mean, of this game world, because I kind of expect...
I don't know. I think you could. I think it could be a new issue they could solve. Like, this could be a launching point for a whole new branch of the campaign.
Yeah.
Like, you can go, fuck, we just released... Well, like, no matter what, because it has a little chart here, it's 3,000 mass grave victims, 4,000 child corpses, 1,800 dead warriors, and 1,700 dead priests and commoners. And it's a good launching point for, like, say, like, how do I do an undead campaign? Well, you have your players fuck up in this one and create all the issues. And plus, in this book, there are the named characters, and the named characters aren't just wallflowers. They have things about them, you know, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot to them. I like it. I think what I like is everything's like chock-a-block. You know what I mean? Like, there's not one bit, and I think they cover everything that's actually needed. I find that a lot of pre-written adventures, either they go spur you over the top, everything's explained to the 9th degree, and you don't, like, there's so much information that you don't need, and then there's other adventures where you get, and they just haven't given you anything to really work with. They've given you, like, the most basic of basic frameworks, and at that point,
I think they found a good, they found a good balance, because this book's only 64 pages, which is pretty good. It's a little splat book. I assume it's a splat book, isn't it? A little splatter, a little splatty.
Let me see how much it costs at the minute. So let me see, how much are they selling it for at the minute on the EU? Death Costume is €22, so it is. So I would say that's pretty cheap, you know. And honestly, like, again, I've got the fancy edition of it. You know, it's one of those ones you can get away with the PDF, and I'm pretty sure the PDF, I think they give away the PDF for free on drive-thru, if I be honest with you. So, you know, that's a thing. But I love it. I think it's my go-to anyway, and that's why I want to talk. I wanted to talk about something fun for a change, guys. I don't want to talk about wheelchairs all the time. So
I love hating.
So how wheelchair accessible is this adventure then? I would say it's a negative. I don't think anyone in a wheelchair could even possibly get up the mountain.
I give it 4 crying paraplegics out of 5.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Right, now the next one I want to do, so we've got 2 more. Now these other 2 are very, very short, so they are. That was like a full proper one. This one's a definition of one shot. This is a 10-page adventure. Do you want to bang this out? You know what? We'll bang it out, and then I'll tell you guys about how I land this.
Are you tired of overreaching and overbearing censorship on important and non-important issues? Well, you're in luck. For just $7.50 a month, you can get access to over 60 hours of completely uncensored and unhinged schizo takes from Megan and James. From us.
I mean, look, it's 60 hours at the minute. Every week we do a minimum of like 3 hours.
Yep.
So, you know,
you get a lot of content.
There's a lot on there.
A lot of content. Ranging from... or even... yes, they are that spicy. Even the name of the topic must be censored. We can't even promote it on YouTube. You can stream or download all the videos from Gumroad and cancel your membership at any time. Though new videos every week on average come to 2 to 3 hours long, so we can really go in depth on any topic, and we are not strangled by the YouTube algorithm.
That's a big issue I always find.
Yeah. We can be open and uncensored and not have to worry about any of that.
If you want to talk about a subject, YouTube really promotes, you're going to have to get that done in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. But on this, we can really take our time and really delve into it.
And most weeks we do bonus off-topic videos. And yes, we even have a teaser video you can download for free from Neckbeardia.uk. In it, we talk about Northern Ireland for 4.5 hours.
I don't even think we scratched the surface.
No, it's to try and help you understand who we are as people, our worldview, and how we can kind of be aliens to most people. If any of that sounds good to you, go ahead, links down below, and let's get back to the video.
Tales of the Scarecrow. Shut up. This adventure location can be placed in any out-of-the-way rural area located along a centric route between two larger settlements. Somewhere along the route, just off the road, will be a roughly circular, lush green cornfield, even out of season. A trail from the road leads through cornfield, leaving a gap in the crop through which can be seen a farmhouse standing in the middle of the field. This might be enough to get the player characters to investigate. If not, the referee knows what will entice his players more. His players? Wow, assuming the referee's gender? Fucking problematic.
What?
Scarecrow adventure.
Very problematic. Now, this adventure could be wheelchair accessible, not gonna lie. I don't know.
My spokes are stuck in the corn. No.
Can a wheelchair go through a cornfield?
I've personally seen a kid in a wheelchair get lost in a corn maze. So yes, it can. It was like, help! I was like, what? Like, help! My wheel is stuck. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm walking through the corn trying to find this kid, and a cob had gotten stuck up in the fucking rotator of his wheelchair. Yeah.
Fuck off.
So I was like bending down trying to rip this fucking corn cob out of this dude's fucking wheelchair.
Right.
He goes, I'm so sorry. Like, no, it's fine.
No, that's cool.
So I left my friends behind. This is back when I was in middle school. Left my friends behind, and I helped him push this kid through a wheelchair because I was playing football. So I had big, strong middle schooler. So this kid's like fucking 45 pounds, soaking wet in his wheelchair. I'm gonna push him through his fucking corn maze, and he's trying. And thing is, it was getting towards dark, and he goes, wait. And he looks up. This guy's using the fucking early morning stars to navigate this fucking cornfield. I felt like the barbarian helping the fucking wizard through a fucking dungeon. And yeah, it worked actually. It's pretty good.
Well, there you go. At least, you managed to get out of the cornfield. Right. Well, at least you guys did get out of the cornfield. My player did get out of this cornfield. Come to think of it, never mind. Look, let's go for this one.
Anyway, cornfield, the field. Below the cornfield lives a gigantic beast which cannot stand the air above. If conditions are right, it can detect the most minute vibrations in the ground around it, and it will use its million tentacles to attempt to snatch prey from the surface. The right conditions are rather peculiar. Potential prey must be within range of its tentacles, which can be reaching the perimeter of the cornfield, but not directly above its brain, which is quite coincidentally the same size as a farmhouse and is the cleared area inside the cornfield. It also cannot detect targets moving towards its brain, so moving from the outside of the cornfield to the inside renders a potential target safe from attack. Those standing still in the cornfield or moving away from the farmhouse while still being in the cornfield are subject to attack by the beast. It also finds the open air intolerable, so it can only attack one target with one barbed tentacle each round. It attacks as a 5-hit dice monster, doing 1d8 damage per hit. The attack is a fast strike and withdrawal maneuver, so the tentacles barb tearing away flesh, so unless the victim is acting on the same initiative number as the monster, the tentacle cannot be attacked. Only when a victim falls to the ground and does not move will the creature ignore anything else in the cornfield and feed on it, sucking the body through the hollows in the tentacle barbs. Note that the tentacles are sufficiently long to attack levitating or flying characters up to 100 feet off the ground. It's basically a giant starlight pit.
Yeah, essentially.
Each tentacle is armor class 14 with 8 hit points, yada yada yada. The corn grows closer together and is a difficult obstacle to move through. reducing movement rates by 3/4. The corn is poisonous. Eating it triggers a save versus poison in each of the next 4 turns, with each failure resulting in the consumer suffering 1d8 points of damage. The corn, thanks to the strange fertilizing influence of the creature below, almost instantly regenerates any damage done to it. Any corn stalks cut down or burned grow back within minutes. The trail from the road to the farmhouse is intentionally kept open as a trap by the creature. And as soon as any victims have entered the clearing around the farmhouse, it will allow the corn to grow back in the gap and thus block the easiest route back to the road. The Scarecrow. The Scarecrow stands at a point in the field indicated on the map. The creature will not attack anyone within 20 feet of it, so this area can be used as a safe haven. However, close examination of the Scarecrow itself is not advised. It drains life. If anyone wishes to examine the Scarecrow or gets close enough to touch it, confirm with the player first how many hit points that his character currently. Man, his.
No.
I can hear Reddit.
Very problematic.
I know. Confirm with the player first how many hit points that his character currently has, whether it involved then begin counting down. This represents actual hit point losses for the character until the character is no longer within reach of the Scarecrow. The physical Scarecrow itself is mundane. It can be destroyed or burned normally, but its destruction does not cancel or nullify any of the area's effects. The Scarecrow is a physical manifestation of the malefic power at work here, but not its cause. The farmhouse.
So pretty much, I like this. What this kind of reminds me of The Mist. Do you remember the movie The Mist?
Yeah, I remember The Mist.
Yeah, that's kind of what it goes with for me. But there's some bits in here that I find that are just too good. Like there's really pretty much. No, you know what? I can't say because I don't want to spoil. So we'll blitz through this because it's only a few pages long. Does that sound like a plan?
I'm trying.
We'll blitz it. Try it. Per garb.
The farmhouse. The farmhouse is a small brick structure with a wooden flooring and a tiled roof. There are only 2 features worthy of outside. There are only 2 features worthy of outside of the house. The water pump, the horses, the stench of death, the corpse in the bed, another corpse on the floor, the live man in room A, the harpsichord, another harpsichord. The sword, which is uncertain, and 2 books, Malice Deuce and Tales of the Scarecrow, on a table in room A. The water pump. The water pump at the side of the house is operational, but with the water it draws is thick and foul smelling. Google the monster, right? It's just trying. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Right,
it will quench the thirst of any drinker, but is full of microscopic parasites. Anyone drinking the water will require twice the usual amount of food per day, beginning the day. This is like the fucking egg sandwich in Futurama, isn't it?
I give you typhoid.
Take this, stupid. you
got TB. Pretty much, essentially.
After 2 weeks have passed, the parasites will be visible in the host's urine, at which point the character loses 1d3 points total from its constitution, dexterity, or strength. The character must make a saving throw versus poison. Success means that the character fights off the infection in 2d10 days' time, and the ability score points lost are restored. Failure means that the infection and its effects, the increased appetite, and ability point loss are permanent, so you're fully infected.
Yeah.
The horses. 4 horses lie dead and rotten behind the house. All 4 still bridled and saddled with saddlebags attached. If the remains are disturbed, evidence of dozens of large puncture wounds on the flank and sides of the horses in contact with the ground will be discovered. The saddlebags are empty except for one which contains a scroll case which holds a receipt of sale for Fox's purchase of the sword in the 2 books which are detailed below. The seller's name and address is noted on the receipt, and the referee is encouraged to use this or the additional contents of the saddlebags of his devising to seed campaign-specific information so as to develop further adventure hooks. The harpsichord. This is the...
What?
Okay. Despite the dilapidation of the farmhouse, the harpsichord is somehow still in perfect condition. It is a finely crafted and worth 10,000 skill points, silver pieces. If it could somehow be removed and undamaged from the house, the creature below will not attack while the harpsichord is being played by a skilled musician. If an unskilled character plays the harpsichord, it will enrage the beast below, causing it to make 1d4 attacks per round in the field instead of the usual one. Stop playing that fucking harpsichord! Nice.
Angry woman downstairs.
The fucking broomstick.
That's exactly what it is.
The men. The badly decomposed corpse of one man, Kingsley Adams, lies on the straw mattress of the bed in room B. Another, that of Edward Corley, lies on the floor in room C, covered with a blanket. The third man, a sickly pale, still lives. His name is Richard Fox, and he will barely acknowledge anyone entering the house. He will just sit on the floor in room A, staring into space. If disturbed, he will demand food and water, claiming not to have eaten for 5 days. He will refuse to speak or cooperate in any way until he is given some food and water. Both the body of Edward Corley and Richard Fox himself stink of excrement, as they both abandoned hygiene, even rudimentary waste disposal some time ago. Fox is a wealthy adventurer and collector of odd and bizarre items. On his journey home after collecting his latest crypto paraphernalia, his list Dogecoin, with his 3 servants, he spotted the farmhouse. He still had some way to go, and expecting to purchase supplies from the residents, he instead decided that they would stay the night once he discovered that the house was abandoned. The first to die was Nicholas Grisselman, who was unafraid to walk through the cornfield as he discovered the path had closed. The others did not see exactly what happened to him, but his screams and the sprays of blood above the corn made it clear that the fields were deadly. The horses refused to enter the fields. Kingsley, Okay, gotcha. Kingsley Adams was the second to die after the men's food ran out. He decided to eat some of the corn. He became ill immediately and died within minutes of his companions bringing him inside. Unbeknownst to his fellows, he robbed the man who sold the books and the sword to Fox. Adams attempted to swallow the valuables, but only got a few things down before accidentally biting down on a coin and chipping his tooth. His pouch contains 2 GP and 47 SP, but in his stomach is a small, brilliantly cut ruby worth 1700 SP, a platinum charm, and 4 GP. Edward Corley was the last to die, as he and Fox stayed in the house, too afraid to leave despite having quickly gone through their meager supplies. None of them were expecting to eat on the road at all. Corley eventually starved to death, but Fox, near death himself and quite desperate, resorted to cannibalism. Fox has been picking at Corley's raw flesh the past couple of days, and Corley's left thigh shows the signs of this. It is not enough to sustain Fox, but it staves off death that much longer, although Corley is beginning to get a bit rank. Corley's corpse still wears a gold ring worth 500 SP on his left hand, and a pouch inside Corley's vest is an exquisite music box worth 1500 SP.
Yeah, my players just killed this guy the second they saw him.
Really?
Yeah, there wasn't even like I was going over all this, making sure it's like, okay, yeah, if he does this, he does that. They just blasted him. He was just sitting in the corner, turned out and looked at them, and they just said, hell no, after, because they were fighting the tentacles for a fair bit. It took them a while before they actually decided we actually need to run. You know, it got to the point where I was just throwing tentacles at them, and they just didn't seem to realize that I was just going to continually throw tentacles at them as long as they stayed in the cornfield. It took them a long time before they actually decided, yeah, I'm bailing, you know. So yeah, and then when they finally got in, yeah, he died pretty quickly. So he did. Let's keep going. Will we skip over the people then, or?
Yes, yeah. Basically Fox is a helper or hindrance, that kind of thing. Yeah,
the Sword of the Unclean, the spell books, now the Tales of the Scarecrow. Now this is the point that made me think this is what makes this adventure special, because look, you know what, Garber, you just go for it. Go for the last page, the Scarecrow, page 8.
Sure. Tales of the Scarecrow. The other book on the desk is a storybook titled Tales of the Scarecrow. It is a creepy horror anthology with all the stories concerning, you guessed it, evil scarecrows. What exactly happens to the stories? That the players will determine. The player should be told that each of them will determine in secret the possible powers and effects of the Scarecrow. Whoever comes up with the most interesting and or dangerous effects will have their entry become the actual power of the Scarecrow, and that player's character will receive an experience bonus. That's evil. If they ask how much of a bonus, tell them the truth. It'll be random. There's every possibility it'll be a negligible increase, every possibility of many thousands of experience points being awarded. let them know that they do not have to make the Scarecrow a monster or assign abilities or powers to the Scarecrow itself. It can merely have an effect on the area inside the cornfield or anywhere within it. Nor do the effects have to follow any established game mechanics. Any described effects cannot name a specific character or class. Tales of the Scarecrow is a book of scary stories, and whatever the players invent should work in that context. Tell them that the entry which leaves the party is the worst position. Tell them that the entry that leaves the party in the worst position will likely win the experience award. So they need to weigh their desire to get experience against the disadvantages of creating a truly debilitating or horrific effect. Give each player 10 minutes to invent these effects without discussing his idea with his fellow players. This is not a collaborative exercise. These should be written down, and each player must assign his idea so that the referee can tell which player wrote the entry. The entries must then be passed to the referee, who should choose the entry that is most sinister and diabolical before putting it into effect. The winning player's character will then be awarded experience according to the following chart, with the player being allowed to make all the rolls instead of the referee. D6 increases will be a D100 X%, or yada yada yada.
So what do you mean?
While the character gains the experience immediately, the character will not actually increase in level until you return to the safe area. Oh no. Shit!
So what do you make of that? How badly do you think that would go for your standard group?
My standard group, they completely fucked themselves over.
Yeah.
They'd be like, this is so much fun. I'm like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's great. That honestly, I want to steal this idea and repurpose it. So I do. I badly want to steal this idea because, again, this is what I get with Lamentations. No one else does books like them. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything they do is very... This is what annoys me. I said this, I think it was on Diversity. It does. It really annoys me now, because Wizards of the Coast... I don't know how that they can have so much money, so much resources, so much everything, and yet they can continually push out, just shit out, the worst products you've ever imagined in your entire life. And James is on the brink of fucking bankruptcy with his shitty fucking 3 websites set up, and he, you know what I mean? And he's still like fucking.
I mean, honestly, you're not wrong. Like, it's just one of those fucking things. Like it's just.
I would definitely say, check out Gun Tales of the Scarecrow for yourself. Garb, I think you'd really enjoy this one. I think you should run this one next if you get a chance.
Well, the thing is, I would make the players vote on who is a scarier Scarecrow and go, okay, cool. Point at them, because that way they've all fucked themselves. Like, y'all voted for it.
Yeah, I think you can make this work. I think you would really enjoy this. Now, I'll tell you guys what happened to my one. My one was essentially one of my players had this spoon. And if you ate from the spoon... Yeah, it was a death spoon. If you ate from the spoon, within 3 days you would die. It didn't matter, regardless, you would just die. And pretty much one of my players, I turned the breen that lives underneath into like an elder breen, and he essentially just wanted to feed on human breens. So he did. So what he did was... Again, it was Mittens, come to think of it. I'm pretty sure it was Mittens that did this. Fuck, why is it always him? He tricked the elder breen essentially into eating from the spoon from like lovely breens, and they end up just having to wait for 3 days, and they managed to escape. Now the Scarecrow, what the Scarecrow was doing was the Scarecrow kept showing up and would like dance about and like, you know, just try and freak them out. But like, I always try to make it so like, yeah, they can maybe get 1 or 2 hits in, but the Scarecrow would just be fucking with them constantly. And eventually what the Scarecrow would do was he would message them like telepathically, each individual, kind of think of like Candyman I was doing, where he wanted each person to be like, yes, hand over, you know what, just give me one person, like, you know, if you guys just sacrifice one party member and give me their skin, I can, like, you know, talk to the elder breen and get you guys out of here. You know, none of my players, you know what, I'm actually kind of proud of my players, not one of them turned around and was like, you know what, yeah, sorry, mate, you're dying. Like, not one of them actually turned around and sacrificed one of the players, which was the point of it the entire time. Not one of them did it. I was shocked by that. But they managed to escape anyway by tricking the elder brain into eating from the poisoned spoon and then end up dying. And then they got on their merry way. How many people died?
Take that, elder brain.
I'm trying to think how many people died on this one. I've gone on this adventure twice, and one time it was with 3 players, and 2 of the players died, and I played and I ran it again with 5 players, and none of them died, which I was really shocked by, because this is just, I don't know, I just did not understand how none of them died, but one of them, two players died. But yeah, definitely something to check out. Do you want to go for? You know what? We'll have a wee break. I want to run for a smoke, and will we do the stuff that makes Lamentations what Lamentations is? Do
we have time today?
We can. You know what? Will we just blast it, and we'll just show them the table? Will we just do the background and then just show them the table?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I guess.
There we go. I'm back. You there?
Yeah, I'm just kind of reading about, like, the Fergs are coming out in force to my aid. This anti-wheelchair.
Yeah, I was looking at that, so I was downstairs and I saw there was even like flags.
Oh, okay, Redditor.
That's good. I like that. Why do I get the feeling you're one of those DMs fan? Ugh. They love
Slash R RPG. Sorry, I only go to slash cuck stories.
Yeah. Exactly. Fuck it, I'm going to keep that in, so I will. Right. So, how do you get this adventure? Pretty much, I don't know how I got this adventure, because you're supposed to, well, I think because James knows me. Pretty much, he gives out free mini adventures when you buy books off him, and he's got 4
air quote mini adventures.
It's like a wee fold out map. So it is. It's like I don't want to show the full thing because I don't want to spoil it. But pretty much, you need to spend it's near enough £400 in his store at the minute if you want to get your hands on. Well, you need to buy at least 4 books of the new ones, I'm pretty sure. But I think if you just buy any 4 books from his store at the minute, he'll give you that. If you buy 1 book, you get 1. If you buy 2, you get 2. Buy 3, you get 3. And then if you buy the 4 new ones, then you get all 5 of them. So that's how you get them. The guy that wrote this is actually, Job is on the deck of triggers, by the way, guys. Just putting it out there. He also did the book of Antithesis that we did a long time ago. And it's Antithesis. But this is a wee micro adventure. So do you want to just lead the background, and then we'll lead why?
Oh boy, do I!
then we'll do the random tables that are on this, and then that'll do us.
I would like nothing more than to read this.
Yeah. So sorry, I had to take a photo of this, so I did, because again, there's no PDFs of this as far as I'm aware, and it's a bit hard to get. Okay. So West Indies, 1631.
Though the Spanish crown has laid claim to much of the Caribbean, the Spanish now primarily focus on pursuing gold and treasure in Mexico and Peru. This distraction has allowed the British, French, and Dutch to establish multiple colonies over the last decade, supported by sugarcane plantations using African and indigenous slave labor. The Spanish launched counteroffensives against colonies surrounding their largest possessions, Cuba, Hispaniola, and Puerto Rico. Against this volatile backdrop, buccaneers operate with impunity from secret bases on the Neural Isles and Cays of the West Indies. Several weeks ago, the Dutch slave ship Franslag set sail fully loaded from West Africa bound for Barbados. On the heels of a solar eclipse that threw them off course and a squall that ruined the mainsail, the ship suffered further calamity. Sickness broke out in the cargo hold. Captain Arnaud segregated the healthy prisoners by bringing them on deck, but as fate would have it, a solar flare erupted while the Devil's Comet hung low in the sky. A wave of corrupting energies bathed the deck, causing the physical forms of all topside to rapidly devolve into an earlier caveman-like evolutionary state. Those infected grew brutish, extremely tribalistic, and consumed with an unslakable thirst for human meat. The flesh-mad Africans burst their bonds and quickly devoured the crew. The listless vessel drifted for days before sinking near an uninhabited island. The cannibals took up residence and now feed on the infrequent intruders in their territory. The player characters can get involved in this adventure in several ways. They could be shipwrecked and wash up on the shore, drop anchor off the island to resupply, only for the cannibals to scuttle their ship in the dark of night, or step through a magical portal and fall into the azure waters near the island. In any case, they should end up stranded with no obvious means of escape. Swimmers can quickly run afoul of the ravenous tiger sharks prowling the surrounding waters.
Yeah, so that's the basic intro. There's a reason why I think James has made this so difficult to get your hands on, because I
wonder why.
Because I think he's, you know what, James likes to do stuff that's so out there and so like extreme. But at the same time, I think he's at that point where he's kind of scared of the backlash at the same time. And I'm just like, mate, if you're going to do it, just go for it. Like, you know, he's been doing it for years. The people that buy his stuff know what he's like and know, like, you know, what they're in for, you know. So I suppose, will we go on to it? Do you want to see the, will we go straight into the grape table then? Roll D10?
Sure. The rape table. Penetrated by a sharpened log wielded by the cannibals like a battering ram.
2d10 damage.
That's all they do?
Yeah.
Hog-tied, then violated by a wild boar on a leash. Sodomized by an entire tribe until they lose consciousness from blood loss. Shaman cockbiter wearing a spear-tipped codpiece violently penetrates the victim's every orifice. Stabbed dozens of times with a ritual dagger, the cannibals crowd around and simultaneously use the gaping wounds like they would a woman. Funnel forced down victim's throat, and cannibals take turns ejaculating and urinating. That's probably the least fucking fatal one of these fucking things.
Yeah, the fetal. On a scale of 1 to fetal. Yeah.
Hooks piercing the flesh of the breast and genitals. Victim is hoisted from a tree over the altar. Nipple and genital area tortured by way of sea urchin spines. Shaman cockbiter roughly inserts his clenched fist anally in standard West African campaign. What?
Yeah, you know what? You know the best thing is, like, you know when it comes to like the
table? Man, why is this not in print nowadays? I wonder.
It is in print. It actually is in print. So it's actually brand new. So it is. This is
standard West African standard.
Yeah,
they're standardized.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just standard.
No, that's just the par for business. You know, like, you know, that's just what they like to do. Will we do the ritual murder table, or, you know?
Sure. Let's go for a full Monty here.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Tied down spread eagle, cannibals take lusty bites from the exposed flesh. What? Shaman smash your skull with a stone maul. That's probably the best one of these fucking ones.
Yeah, that is.
Ripped. Just smash my shit with the fucking stone maul. Just get it over with.
Just smash my fucking skull in, please.
Ripped limb from limb by cannibals with their bare hands as they dance around fire with the body parts. Bound and smeared with pig blood as a hungry crocodile is released. Fuck. If you've watched Animal Planet at least once, you have a solid chance of surviving that one at least. Skull sawed open and brains eaten while the victim is still conscious. Tourniquets applied to extremities, which are then severed and roasted in front of the living victim. Throat cut from ear to ear and ritual cup filled with the flowing blood, which is drunk by the tribe. Large boulder hoisted onto chest, which slowly chokes off air. More weight. Who said that? Saint? Who said that?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Give me any words? More weight.
Yeah. I can't remember. Someone in the comments will remember who that is.
Yeah. Actually, it's a saint you guys should know off the top of your head, you fucking losers.
I'm sorry.
Victim decapitated and in the head, eyes blinking slowly, paraded before tribe and reigning prisoners. Wooden spikes hammered into the eyes, nose, and throat. So standardized, of course.
Yeah. It's a small adventure. It's only like a fold-out page, so it is like. You know,
but boy, what an adventure it must be!
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to running this. By the way, guys, just putting it out there. Garbo, you free then this Sunday?
Do what? No. Man, shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ.
You sure? Why not?
It's either fecal lands or standardized gangbangs, Garber. You gotta pick one of them.
So which one would you rather not play more then? That's my question for you. Would you rather not play? So if you're trapped and you have to play one game to save your life, and you can't just back out. You can't back out. You have to pick one.
All right, Garbro, you're strapped to a wheelchair. In order to get free, you gotta play one game.
Yeah, you're strapped to a wheelchair. You're gonna get thrown down a flight of stairs by yourself, by a clone of yourself. Yeah, so you can either play Black of Night or Fecal Lands. Which one are you gonna do?
At that point, I'd rather play Fecal Lands than standardized West African gangbangs. I mean, with Fecal Lands, I won't get fucking tarred and feathered online for playing this stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. Look, I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to be able to run this adventure because I'm going to be running Don't Fuck the Priest next, so I will be. So I don't know where this is going to fit in, but like I think I can make this run. I'm tempted about sending it to Teal because I think Teal,
I can make this work.
I think Teal would actually have a lot of fun with this. I think he would get more out of this than most people. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what Lamentations is all about. I don't know how else to describe them. I love the stuff they do. I wish that James was better at marketing because I wish more people could know about what Lamentations is all about, you know? What would you say, Garbu, in order? I know Black of Night's going to go at the bottom, but what one did you prefer? Did you prefer the sound of the Scarecrow or Death Frostum? Black of Night, of course, is going to be third.
Well, it's one of those things where they both do very different things. Yeah, they really do. The Death Frost Doom could be done over a series of multiple game days. The Scarecrow one's a single day.
Yeah, that's a one shot. That's a one shot.
So, in terms of simply game longevity and intricacy, I think Death Frost Doom has to go first, really. Yeah, because it's just. There's more to it. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the idea of the Scarecrow one. It's a pretty cool idea. I do like it. But Death Frost Doom can take more than one day to do. Yeah. It'd be really hard to stretch out. This is the Scarecrow one. Yeah. It's definitely a one shot.
Scarecrow's definition of a one shot. I do like the idea. I love the idea of getting the players involved on what actually happens, though. You know, and it's something that I've never seen before, and I'm like, oh, right, okay. That's what gets me about Lamentations. Almost all of their books, there's not one book that I can think of that they do that doesn't make me think differently afterwards. You know what I mean? And that's why I really enjoy them. Whereas if you look at anything like that's been produced by Wizards of the Coast for the last 5 years, it's all just so fucking bland and generic. It's not even generic's not exactly a bad way to be, but it's just so fucking shit. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is it all so shit? Like, you know, does everything have to be shit all the time? You know? So, yeah, I don't know. If you're going to spend money on anyone, I would say check out Lamentations, because they've got tons and tons of good books, and there's very few that I can think of that I was like, meh, don't like her for.
No, I'm good to go.
Do you want to shout about you're getting backed up by furries now? You found your place. How many?
There's a lot of them. That's kind of weird.
Well, how many has this went up by? So I think before we started recording, it was at 8,000 likes you've got. Now you're on 11,000. So that's pretty mad. I don't know.
I called the guy a faggot twice so far. So see if I get banned or not.
Yeah, who's this guy? Drunkards and Dragons. Like, who are they?
I don't know. It's just he came across my fucking feed one day, and I was like, oh, this guy looks interesting. But let's see here. Let's put on blast real quick. No, let's go to his channel. Drunkards and Dragons.
He is.
So I have no idea. He follows me, but I think he's just another RPG creator out there. I think he does mostly like AI fucking repost content. I'm not sure, but I know Dungeon Delver follows them, and a few others. But it's just another guy. Another guy online. He talks about. Oh, fuck me! It's another dude online. Another bra online. But he has a Sir Wheels-a-Lot comic thing he does. That kind of shit. So
yeah, well there you go.
Another RPG guy on the RPG sphere doing RPG stuff.
Do you want to do that in the near future? Because people keep asking about it. I don't want to do like a tier list of people because people keep asking, it's like, yo, James, who's actually like really shit behind the scenes? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't really want to talk about like
Like I was in one of their, I was in one of their discords for a while, and it's interesting.
Yeah, like I don't want to just speak poorly of people that I don't really know. You know what I mean? So like, I would rather only do. I'd rather just like, again, kind of like this video where I just want to talk about stuff that I actually like. I would rather just do a video talking about people that I actually do like as well. You know what I mean? Like people actually worth checking out, because there's not many people, I think. And pretty much, I can safely say that I've yet to come across an RPG channel that just does 5e to be good. All right. I'm just putting that out as a blanket statement, but maybe that's just me, that I just can't stand 5e that much these days, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm not watching anything. Just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've yet to find someone who's like entertaining, you know. So, anyway, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I don't know.
I'm good to go. I mean, I think that of the air quote 3,
yeah.
I like the creativity, like just the short creativity of.
There's a lot to bounce off of. One. I think there's a lot you can bounce off of. I honestly, Garb, I'm going to send you a load of their books, because they are, like, I know you're like, you just see that, like, Garbu just never buys anything. Like, Garbu is just one of those people. Like, I don't think you're. Have you ever bought an RPG book in your life?
Yeah. Why?
You guys, what have you bought?
It was mostly D&D one.
All right. And how long ago was that? When was the last time you bought one?
Shoot. The last time, probably while I was still in the army.
And how many years ago was that?
A lot.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna send you a Ludo.
It's like, what's the date? It's 2024. Oh.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, then, yeah. Not far off it.
Yeah.
Not far.
A decade plus.
Okay, so it's been a decade plus since you've actually bought an RPG book. I'm going to send you Ludo Lamentation stuff, because I think you would actually really enjoy it, because they do things really, really differently. Now, don't get me wrong, is there West African gangbangs? Yes. But is there also stuff that's actually genuinely done very well? Then, yeah, they do that as well. I just want to put that out there. But again, that's what they're kind of known for their like really out there freaky stuff. You know, put out this, Don't Fuck the Police is probably just as bad as Fecal Guns, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably in that, like, vein, you know? Anyway, look, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Definitely check them out, because I think they're worth checking out, and I will really, I'm fucking defeated. I feel, I've got fatigue. I've got Wizards of the Coast fatigue, alright, guys? See, when it comes to, like, I'm fatigued. I can't keep up with this stuff. I'm kind of at that point where I just want to talk about stuff that I actually enjoy and stuff that I actually like, and I want to share stuff that I actually think is cool. So, like, you know, that's kind of where we're at, guys, okay? That's my mental state at this moment in time. Anyway, look, if you enjoyed this one, let us know what you think. If you've heard this long, I don't know how the fuck you've managed to last us this long. Any last words, Garbo? No?
I'm good to go.
Tip a wheelchair, and we'll see you guys later.
Tip a wheelchair and let's get on by.